Cooperative Governance Minister Dr. Dlamini Zulu has called for unity within the Zulu royal family. This comes as the Zulu nation mourns the passing of Queen Regent Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu. The royal house has been marred by claims of divisions over the successor to King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu. Dlamini Zulu has called on the royal family to resolve their issues for the sake of the Zulu nation. The minister visited the royal palace in KwaNongoma today.
I would say to the royal family, this is a very difficult time for them, as much as it's a difficult time for the nation, but specifically for them, having lost 3 senior members of the royal family in succession. Of course, these kind of departures of senior people sometimes create tensions, but we are hoping that they will be able to go deep inside and find a way of keeping together and keeping the stability of the royal family. Because if the royal family is stable, the people are stable. But if there is tension, then it might spill out outside the royal family. So we are pleading with them to get into their inner strength and really go through this period as the royal family. Nobody is perfect.
For more on this, we're joined by Karinda Jagmohan, who is at the Royal Palace, KwaNongoma. A very good afternoon to you, Karinda. It's been a very busy day today, and we were addressed by Premier Sihle Zikalala as well as Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. But if you could summarize some of the highlights of what has come out of today's meeting at the Royal Palace.
Indeed. Well, many leaders of government who've come here to pay their condolences to the AmaZulu royal family are calling for unity, especially at this time as we are seeing the factional battles within the family over who will ascend the throne following the passing of the Queen Regent. Like you said, early this morning we saw the arrival of Karinda Minister Dlamini Zulu, who spoke about the family finding their inner strength in order to find this unity. She said that this tension should not spill out of the royal family to the rest of the nation. She mentioned that. Then we saw the KwaZulu-Natal legislature, or the speaker, come through, Nontembeko Boy, speaking as well, sending a message of peace to the AmaZulu nation, saying at this time the nation has lost a pillar of strength, a woman in leadership, and we need to focus on honoring her memory. The Premier of the province, Sihle Zikalala, arrived accompanied by several MECs, several members within his government, and he spoke to media shortly after a meeting with some members of the family, as well as the AmaZulu Prime Minister, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who came here with members of the Buthelezi clan, both speaking to media and touching upon the battles that we are seeing. First, the Premier confirming, though, what we wanted to know is whether or not there would be an official funeral for the late Queen. He said that while this, the request is pending in terms of the official request, members of the KwaZulu-Natal government have been speaking to the President's office, and at this point they believe that there could be a provincial special official funeral for the late Queen, but the logistics will be determined over the course of the week. We know that the Queen's mortal remains will arrive in KwaNongoma tomorrow, we expect this, and then of course the interment to take place the crack of dawn on Thursday. A memorial service will follow on Friday. But But in the midst of this, we know that there have been questions over what next for the AmaZulu nation. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, echoing the statements he's shared thus far, saying that at this time he calls for peace and calm, especially within the family, as they focus on the burial process first before we discuss who will ascend the throne. But just touching on the sort of parallel meetings, the impromptu press conferences by some members of the royal family without the knowledge perhaps of the Prime Minister. Prince Buthelezi spoke to us about that. He said it's a shame that it's happening now at this point. He spoke to us just moments ago here. This is what he had to say.
Because I arrived here with members of my traditional council of the Buthelezi clan this morning, not in the capacity of the IFP. And I spoke at length about the connection between the Buthelezi family, starting from the time of King Shaka with Ngangalele, and right through our family line up to the time of the Prime Minister Nyamana, and up to the time of my father and my marriage of my mother to my father, arranged by King Solomon. I went through that just to remind me where we come from as the Buthelezi family, with the royal family, because of the ructions that are taking place, which actually have upset all of us, depressed, I may use the word depressed very much, because these side shows, I think they shame the royal family, that during this time of bereavement, when all of us should be focused on the sadness that has taken place, which is the passing away of our regent, that there should be these side shows by actually members of the royal family. No, but then I clarified my statement. I'm sure you received my statement.
No,
You did receive it?
Yes.
Yes. So I will not elaborate on it, because I've made it clear about the people that are in the forefront of this. That in fact, I sympathize with them, because there are people who didn't grow up here in the royal court, and I must understand their actions in that context.
We have, Karinda, heard from Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and a little bit earlier on as well from Premier Sihle Zigalala. What else is there left to do today? Are there still some more meetings and deliberations taking place at the palace?
It's unclear at this point. What we know so far is that members, family members, as well as community members as well, have been coming in and out of the palace. Right now, senior royal members are actually sitting down to have a meal together. There was about an hour-long meeting before this with the Premier and Prince Buthelezi. It's unclear whether they will continue having these meetings here, but at this stage we also know that preparations are underway, especially in terms of logistics, on bringing the mortal remains of the Queen back home to KwaNongoma. It's unclear at this stage which members of the family will be heading to Johannesburg in order to conduct the very relevant and important customs and traditions that need to be undertaken before bringing the mortal remains here to KwaNongoma. That, of course, is yet to be discussed and revealed to us. But what we can say so far is that we know that it's going to be a hive of activity here at this royal palace over the next coming days. The burial itself, or the interment itself, is expected to happen, according to a statement, at the crack of dawn on Thursday. This will be a private ceremony like that of His Majesty's last month that we saw take place at his palace just not far from here. And then on Friday, a memorial service to honor the life of the late Queen Regent.
Thank you very much, Karinda. That's our Karinda Jagmohan, who continues to be stationed KwaNongoma.